So welcome. So ladies and gentlemen, we have our guest here today. This is Matt. Now, Matt or Matthew, what do you prefer?
Either or's we're good. It's Matthew's reality.
Matthew's
Done deal, mate.
So Matt, do you want to tell me a little bit about what you do? I know some of what you do, but just explain so like people know who you are. You know, I know you have a lot of different things that you do.
All right. Basically, to sum up what I do, I am a world-renowned mindset coach. I work with organizations, royalty, coaches, entrepreneurs on how to live a better life and also create a better business.
Fantastic. So royalty, I mean, here I'm a celebrity. I love celebrities, all right? So I get them all the time. Is royalty meaning, just what are some of your greatest achievements? I guess your most memorable achievements, I guess, in some ways. We all have them, but what do you think? What comes to mind? What comes to mind when we talk about your life and what your journey is with regards to the shadow work and all your other work that you do?
All right. Well, when it comes to achievements, I know a lot of like coaches and entrepreneurs, they talk about the business aspect of it. The greatest achievement of my entire life is when I started it over 100%. New city, new home, no friends, no ties in my past, no nothing. I wiped the slate clean with my life, reprogrammed everything about me, and rolled forward. That was the greatest achievement.
Wow. That's a big step too. I mean, you take it out of, you sort of step into this physical reality over here that we've got to live the way we live, and you got to, go to work, earn money and all those kind of things. And a lot of people have to sort of switch between both because they still live in that reality because they have to. But mate, that takes guts, man. Well done.
Well, I went from unemployed, living in my car, to making over 6 figures, like that. I went international overnight in my business and never looked back.
No, I can see that. That's awesome, man. So tell us a little bit about your shadow work, mate. We're obviously we've all been through it. We've got our other co-host Cortez. He's been always talking about shadow work as well. We've all been through it. Spiritual awakening, however you want to put it, breakdown, whatever. Tell us a little bit about shadow work from your perspective.
Well, a lot of people have a misunderstanding on what exactly shadow work is. Now, when most people say shadow work, the first thing that comes to mind is healing. It's an aspect of us that we need to heal. But if it's an aspect that we need to heal, why do most people struggle with it over and over and over, month after month, year after year? Because it's actually a misinformation that shadow work needs to be healed. Only a fraction of it needs to be healed. Most shadow work is undisciplined habits of behaviors that we have. I could use a prime example of the dating scene. Like, the biggest thing is dating a narcissist, recovering from a narcissist. You can heal from the damage that somebody may cause of you, but that's not shadow work. The undisciplined aspect is not holding healthy boundaries and standards, not having your eyes open and ignoring the red flags that people are presenting right in the beginning. I know a lot of women that go, you know what, they're bad for me, but screw it. I'm going to go give it a go anyways. It should be fun.
Maybe I can
ask you, Matt? Can I ask you, Matt? That's a really good point. Just boundaries, because we've talked about our little Mother Earth pixie down there who keeps me grounded. She was talking about boundaries and standards in the world, and in our reality, and it made a massive difference in my life when she said that. Looking at your standards, looking at obviously people can't live up to your standards, but then what are your boundaries? So are they the same? What do you think about that one? Because it sort of changed my reality in a lot of ways. A couple of weeks ago we had a chat.
Well, the biggest thing is a lot of people look at boundaries and standards as external. You have to have internal boundaries and standards. That is what you can tolerate and what you can adapt and compromise with. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, everybody in here, everybody in this world that's 20 years old and up has had a horrible relationship where their tolerance level was here, but their self-worth was treated down here. The first step of boundaries and standards is you got to have a healthy level for you. What can you compromise and adapt to without sacrificing your life or your well-being? Once you establish that boundary and that standard, it's very easy to say, okay, this, and this for the external world.
That makes a lot of sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, if you don't mind, I'll just keep going because it's making a lot of sense.
I know Jay needs some. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. I think what we're doing is I'll go to Diana this time and put a meme up, and it resonated with me with the separating of the old soul and the new soul, and new programming, old programming, because we've done all the work, and we're really like what you've done. You basically have summed up what we should be doing in a lot of ways. Is basically right. Cut. See you later. Start fresh. But obviously, a lot of us, whether we can or can't, or whether we all live on different journeys. But didn't know where I was going with that question. But I guess the point of the matter is when we get it, we just got to make sure we run with it. I guess in a lot of ways, and just really trusting everything that we're doing, and obviously set those boundaries, and regardless of what people think and what they do, stick to them and just go from there. Would that be a bit of a summary?
Yeah, I mean, what's the one thing that most people do not do? Accountability. You are responsible for your life and the outcomes of things that transpire. Now, I'm going to explain this one because I know I'm going to get a lot of head shaking in both directions, nodding up and shaking their head no. So I'm going to give a little background on me. I grew up every day being beaten, raped, mentally, emotionally abused. Every day as a child. I started at the age of 4. Okay? Now, I could be woe is me in society. But I have to remember one thing. I am not what transpired to me. I am how I choose to feel, react, and use what transpired to me. What happened to me? I love talking about it. It is the greatest gift that was given to me because it created and developed who I am today. The healthy boundaries, the standards, perception, the perspectives. I used my past as a tool, a gift to better my life. And that's what accountability is for. I can say, you know what, my mom did this, my dad did that, this person did this person did that. All I'm doing is giving my power to them. My energy, my well-being, the control of me to them. I chose to stop being a victim and start using it to be victorious. That's accountability.
Yeah.
Everything we do, we are accountable for. We're accountable for the good just as much as the bad. We're like, yeah, look at that, look at what I did over an accomplishment. Then we're like, oh crap, no, look what they did to me when it's bad. That's not accountability.
Because them, not me. Anytime something bad happens, we look for somebody else to blame that's outside of ourselves, so we don't have to look at our responsibility and accountability for bringing that into our lives, because we don't want to be the one that was responsible for hurting ourselves.
Exactly.
Where our ego doesn't like that. Our ego doesn't like to know that, hey, you caused this harm to yourself. We always need to find an external source to pin it on, basically. And the easier we can do that, the easier it is for a lot of us. And you just, oh, well, it's them, not me. And you just walk away and you just don't ever look at your responsibility and your accountability in your own life. So it's really important to take the steps and do the work that you offer and the work that you've done. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being that inspiration and sharing that story with us, that experience with us. Really appreciative of that. So
Absolutely. Would you say, Matty, checking the ego as well, because we live in this world? I know, even not even looking at how we act as victims. I learned that a lot. That even though I wasn't actually being a victim, but I was actually being a victim by asking people to be accountable as well. So you see that you're sort of taking the emphasis of where you are and putting it on someone else. I didn't really understand that, because I say, why aren't you doing this? Why? That's still being a victim. I understand that now. So that's what you said was, resonate, man. And again, for me, down under, thank you so much for expressing that. Thank you so much.
I have something to add. I do appreciate you sharing that on here. I know it's not easy to do on videos, but I think that's also a part of the shadow work too, right? When you're accepting it, that's also kind of integrating it. I think in the spiritual world where everything's all, some people want to focus only on the light and being positive and stuff, but really it's your whole being, right? So you're embracing the dark and the light. And for me, I've used that too. I've talked about, addiction issues and stuff that I've had. And I also used to play the victim. I was like, oh, my parents treated me this way. I did this. I had this experience, even through my addiction, right? But when I finally just accepted it and just say, hey, this happened. And, when I accepted it, I started to integrate the darkness more. And I get inspiration from my videos because I accepted that and I decided not to be a victim. I use that for my videos. And I think also when we get in the victim mode, it seems like because that's still in our energy field, right, then we manifest more situations where we're the victim, because we're focusing on, when we say I'm a victim, when you're identifying as that, right, you're taking the power from you, right, and always putting on someone else. And I noticed that when I do that, I attract more situations where it confirms, right, it manifests as I'm the victim. So I noticed it's changed when I started to say, hey, I did this, and you know what, I played a part too. And even things that have happened, I mean, obviously things when you're a kid, that's maybe a little different, but as an adult, there's always a part that I played, even though I say this person did this to me, even relationships, I could say even in things with my addiction, but I played a part too, and I have to take responsibility. I did something that manifested that, or I was feeling a certain way, thinking, or my actions also contributed, so.
I mean, I tell everybody this, like, you are not responsible for the programming you get as a child. Yeah. But as an adult, you are 100% responsible for fixing it.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to shadow work, when it comes to coaches, because I do also teach organizations and coaches, if you're a coach and you teach shadow work and you do not thrive in chaos, you're not going to be able to help them in shadow work. I want everybody to think about that for a second. If you can't own your darkness, how can you truly express the light?
Yeah,
that's true.
Absolutely fantastic. What was it? When you go in, I guess when you go into the darkness, we're not really. I guess as I said, everyone does it their own way, their own journey. So we got to this point where we're talking now because we took those steps, and we had to learn those lessons and all that. Big one, and the lesson keeps coming back, and we're all at a different level where mentally we're at a different level where we're understanding, and then as you get more and more, it's going to come back. The programming changes and it sets you up. We go, right, lesson learned, see you later, move on. But I think the clearing thing, the big thing I'll take out of this is you just went bang and cleared everything. I mean, and I'll go one step further. I tried to clear, I did clear a lot of stuff, but I like to keep things that do go in balance. And I think I'm a better judge now of picking what I need in my life now. And it's a lot less, you know what I mean? And I think you get less tolerant of a lot of things too. So, yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing with shadow work, the biggest thing with any form of coaching is I only ask 2 questions. Now, Diana, I've even asked you these 2 questions, so you'll know when I say them. One is internal and one is external. One, is anything you're doing making your life better? How you think, how you feel, your habits, your behaviors, your beliefs, your actions, reactions, and responses. Is any of them making your life better? If the answer is no, you need changes. You need healthy alternatives. or healthy reprograms and little quick boosts of a different perception and perspective on how to view things. And the second one is the external one. Is anything they are doing making your life better? This is your circle, your family, your friends, your significant others, the habit of person that you date. You can't change the external without reprogramming that internal. Because as Diana says, you are ultimately manifesting that to draw to you.
It's a reflection, yeah. It's just
yeah.
Your outer reality is a reflection of your inner reality, yeah.
Yeah.
Your beliefs.
And
see it all the time.
Yeah, and everybody should know the answer to those two questions. When I asked myself those two questions, my answers were no. I didn't even have to think of it. It was no and no.
It used to be. Yeah.
So then it's like, all right, well.
That's kind of this weird 50-50.
It's like, all right, what's wrong with me? The way I think, the way I believe, the way my habits are. Everything was a big, oh crap, it's wrong. It's not making my life better. So then I did one step to the other, to the other, to the other. Created the habit patterns for each and every one. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, you can do it in a month to 3 months if you truly want it. You can just bam, and then it just starts to snowball and keep rolling.
I agree with that. It's you say that as I say, I think we all do it. Excuse me. I think we all do it. I think it's just having I found the safe space to do it and understanding exactly what I guess you have a safe space to do it, and just also having the confidence within yourself to do it. I guess if you get into get into this area, I said making a choice to come and talk to you and talk to other people, but having that confidence and controlling that ego and overriding that programming. It's not as easy as what you say in some ways, but it can be, and it should be.
Yes.
And it's simple as that. It should be, shouldn't it? Let's be honest.
And I'm going to relay off of something that you said, the safe space. Now, when I started my life over, I didn't have the safe space. And my whole environment was a hostile environment. I had to become my safe space.
Right,
and this is for a lot of listeners out there. You don't have it, don't hide behind that fact. Become the safe space.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it. For anyone that might be going through that struggle right now, what can you recommend people do to try to become that for themselves, and how to go about becoming a safe space within yourself? If you're just for the people who might be in that needing to experience that, but not sure where to begin or how to start, because it seems like a daunting task if you're alone and you've never done it before. So. Okay.
There's going to be two aspects that are, in my opinion, the key, the main one to get that snowball rolling for you. One, look at how you talk about yourself and your life. Look at how you do it. I'm sorry, like I love you, Full-Time Purpose Group, but you guys are some pretty damn negative people in there. Okay, with the posts and all.
No, I agree with you. Mate.
We're in a spiritual, happy place. There's a lot of negativity in those posts I'm seeing. Look at the way you guys are talking about, It's you got to look.
I agree with you, mate.
Our brain responds to suggestions. An average habit, they say, takes 30 days. No, with a thought, you have 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. You can literally create a habit pattern of thinking in under a minute. If you're like, oh, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I need this, I need that, I'm broke, I'm this and that. How are you even going to build self-love if you don't even have that self-like? Look at the way you're talking about yourself. That's your mind should be your first safe space.
Yeah.
And the second is about ego. A Our brain scientifically wants to be as lazy as possible. It wants to use the least amount of energy possible. So it created ego to be like a quick reference guide. It views, judges, and reacts. Oh, I like that color, therefore I like this. Oh, I don't like that tone, therefore I don't like that. And when you get caught up in that, that creates temporary beliefs.
Yep.
You'll literally start to believe these quick references. You got to pause, take a step back, and actually evaluate the bigger picture. Get that brain kicking in high gear. We've all done it. Have you ever been angry in an argument and you're arguing back and forth? The next thing you know, you're like, damn, I'm sorry I said that to them. That's a prime example of ego's quick analysis versus your intellect saying, you know what, we're better than this. We shouldn't have done that. Then your brain's feeling guilty, like, man, if I was in the driver's seat instead of ego during that situation, this would have never transpired. But I wanted to kick back and take a nap and let him handle it. That's pretty much what our brain does. Guilt, remorse, shame, and regret, we don't feel during it. We only feel it after it because our brain kicks in.
Yeah, you start
Those are the two biggest to create a safe space for you and your mind. The rest of it is a piece of cake.
I also had another question. I think we need to briefly discuss it. In regards to like your nervous system, right? So I've talked with all of you guys probably about this at one point. How I got myself I was in a safer space before, and I put myself through a lot of situations, through addiction, all that stuff, and just life experiences, right? But even now, even though I'm in a safe, even though everything's safe, everything's cool, my nervous system still kind of like is waiting for like the threat or something. I'm waiting, and I fixate on these stupid things that like are just trigger me for like in my past. Even though I've done a lot of inner work, there's these little things that like you think all the big things, the crazy shit, like doesn't even bother me anymore. But it's like these little things, and it's weird that my nervous, but I can feel it in my body, right? You're reacting, your body gets tight, you get the feeling put to your stomach. So what would your advice, well, this is for me too, but what would your advice be for other people that are experienced that have gone into a safer environment, that have made better habits, better choices, but their nervous system is still a little bit like shook up? How do you get that back to regulating? Like I do breath work and things like that, but I know it's a little bit deeper than that, especially if you have like trauma in your past and stuff.
Alright, this one's actually pretty crazy. So think of a single cell organism. It will either thrive in a nurturing environment, or it will choose to be self-sustaining and self-efficient if it declares an environment to be a hostile environment. This is biology 101. Now, when it comes to your neuroscience, your neuropsychology, your own biology can declare your mind to be a hostile environment. Your beliefs, your behaviors, your habits, a hostile environment. So if you've done these changes, you've done this progression, prime example, curb addiction, change your beliefs, your behaviors, everything. Your biology still needs to earn the trust in you to not go back to the old ways. That takes time, repetition, acknowledging the good that you've done, acknowledging the change, facing the bad, testing yourself instead of getting complacent with the success that you've currently gotten.
Yeah, I think that's...
You gotta push yourself.
Yeah, it's because everything's too calm, right? I'm doing well, hey, the YouTube channel's good, my job, I'm not using, all that stuff. I even got out of toxic relationships, but my brain's still kind of like, okay, when's the shoe gonna drop? Like, sometimes I'll think I'm gonna get fired from my job for no reason, or I'll think that I'm gonna get in a car accident. I'm always like thinking, I have to literally tell myself, like, we're good, everything's cool, look, there's nothing, but it's like, it's annoying, it's like, it freaks out, and I'm like, no, everything's fine, it's okay to be normal, not to have mood swings, this is normal. I'm like, reprogramming, I'm like, this is normal. I don't know, I never knew normal, but this is the closest I'll get to normal.
I mean, if we all really think about how a thought works, okay, I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown on this, okay? you have a thought and intention, just something random that pops up. All right, it goes through neural pathways to your hypothalamus. Your hypothalamus and your oblongata are kind of like the pharmaceutical company of the brain. It gives what is called neuropeptides. Neuropeptides then travels through, and it goes all the way down to release into your bloodstream, and that goes to every cell in your body. That neuropeptides is the chemical and hormone blend of thoughts, emotions, vibration, frequencies, energy levels. Think of it like a mixed drink. It's a chemical cocktail. That's what feeds your cells. Cells vibrate either at a high frequency or a low frequency. When they are so used to getting a low frequency, depression, anxiety, stress, frustration, aggravation, anger, self-doubt, disbelief, low self-esteem, it'll actually crave that lower frequency.
Yeah.
And then you have an epiphany and you're like, you know what? My life sucks. I'm done sucking at life, so I'm going to be better. Bam. You're feeding your cells a higher frequency when they became addicted to lower frequencies.
And addicted to stress and sometimes we become addicted to the cortisol and everything. I know, like when I first got clean, right? Like I remember now this difference. I was bored all the time, right? Because I'm used to. I mean, I was doing uppers, down. I was doing all kinds of substances, but at first I found myself. I was always saying I'm so bored. Like I could not even sit with myself. I couldn't just sit and chill. Like I was so used to stimulation, even driving to go get stuff and doing all these crazy behaviors, interacting with sketchy people, right? But like I was bored. Now I finally got to the point. I'm actually just. It is solitude now, which that took a very long time. Like I was constantly, I'm bored. There's nothing to do. Like I found nothing else entertained my brain. Nothing else gave me that stimulation, but those behaviors. So now that's at least a step. I'm actually content with solitude. I don't get bored. I'm like, hey, I find other healthier behaviors, healthier things, but just that nervous system's still a little bit, or sometimes it'll seek out drama in other ways. And I think that's why I fixate on things sometimes, right? Like stupid things, because my brain's looking to be triggered or something, you know?
Yeah. Your brain's bored currently. It needs the stimulation, but the only stimulation it knows is the toxic environments, the toxic situations. You got to go where you're at and set the bar higher for yourself. And then when you reach that, that becomes your level of standards for yourself. That becomes the threshold. Then you go even higher. Then you match it. You just got to keep elevating yourself. Because a lot of people post, I've had this ascension. I'm wide awake. I'm spiritually awesome. This stuff is great. No, ascension is constantly in motion. It isn't a fixed point. You're either going to go up or you're going to decline, or you're just going to keep going like this.
I just got in with you, Nate, because it makes total sense, because you get to that point where you're actually moving up in the chain, and this is just a feeling that I've been having, and then you sort of get that where you actually, you're increasing your boundaries and standards, but I guess you become more of a recluse in a lot of ways, because that's a response to protecting your energy. You don't have to actually, you have a choice I've been told you have a choice in what you do. For example, I'm at work, I was with people, sitting in an office, I made a choice to move. Mate, my life has gone, my inner psyche and everything I believe in that I've been doing has gone all the way up. And they go, why aren't you sitting with us anymore? I go, I just got work to do. And I just come up with a bullshit excuse, if you get where I go. You don't want to go into it, you know what I mean? So I think that's where, what you're saying is very relevant. What Diana's gone through is relevant as well, so yeah.
And that's a good example of what we were talking about you mentally in your thoughts being that safe space. You have to be able to act when it's like red flags all around you. That's a mental safe space for you to say, you know what, I'm just going to get up, go here, dissolve the situations with them, even if it's a fib or a distortion of the truth or even just a flat out lie. I'm going to give myself that safe space.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to as well where and they always say these little memes and stuff. I love Diana's memes; they're the best. And just say simple things like, be true to yourself and all those little things that they always say. It's absolutely 100% correct if you actually take it for exactly what it is, and stop and as humans trying to go, oh, what else does this mean? At the end of the day, what you're saying is exactly what you did. You basically went, right, I'm going to wipe my slate clean. I did it. Here I am now. Everyone goes, oh, it's not that simple. I go, well, it can be, can't it? It's up to the individual.
Yeah. Shadow work is only going to be as repaired as much as you're willing to put in the effort and accountability to.
Absolutely.
I don't mind.
Agree with you. What do you think, Sarah? You're sitting there dodging people.
What's that?
You're sitting there dodging. I love how she'll come out with some beautiful words. Watch this.
Now I feel put on the spot, mate. Now I gotta say something cool.
We always do. What are you talking about? We all do.
Well, now I feel extra put on the spot. Well, no, I was just going to ask a question, and now I don't remember what the question is because I'm all flustered now. I feel like maybe my question wasn't cool enough.
Take your time. It's okay.
Oh no! I think I remember now. So what I was going to say, for anybody who's interested in doing shadow work, you were mentioning that you had started making these changes on your own. And for anyone who's interested in diving into shadow work, would you recommend doing the journey on your own, or would you recommend doing it with a coach or a therapist? I also was going to throw in is it dangerous to do shadow work without any guidance or help, because there might be deeper stuff there? Just kind of getting into the process of acquiring shadow work help, or if you should just go it alone because it's your stuff and you need to face it. So what's your take on that?
All right, my take on it is I did it alone, and let me tell you, that was very difficult.
Yeah.
That was very difficult because there were aspects about me and abilities about me that I didn't even know. And as soon as they came up, I was bombarded with all this information. It was very difficult. Would I recommend doing it alone? Only to an extent. I would honestly say if you are legit on change, get a coach, at least for a month. Get some form of advice, a safe space to talk to, and even somebody to hold you accountable as well.
Yeah, that's a big
And then once you start gaining momentum, then maybe you can start advancing yourself a little bit more on your own. But I ain't saying this for a promo. I'm flat out saying it was extremely difficult for me.
Yeah, I've tried to do it on my own.
Myself, and it took me 2 years to understand what I even healed.
Yeah.
It always does, though, Matty. You're saying you can't be the master in 5 minutes. I mean,
no.
It's like anything. We see the people, like you say, Hollywood superstars. You don't understand. Or say, actually, I'm a tennis fan, right? And you see your Novak Djokovic's and your Federer's. You go, oh, it's fantastic, it's great. But you don't see the people sleeping in the airports, putting themselves, going, right, I've got to do this. This is what we're doing. No one sees all this stuff, mate. And I think it's a big thing when you talk about shadow work. You've got to where you are and you're sitting there going, this is great. We appreciate your journey. We know because we've been through it our own way. But a lot of people who aren't really awake in a lot of ways, they look at this guy, oh, it's nice, but mate, we appreciate exactly where you've been because we've done it. You know what I mean? It's a great thing. And I don't think people really take it on board, the journey that you actually walk, the yellow brick road to Oz, as I always call it.
No, I call it the descent to hell, and you make those demons your bitch.
Yeah.
That's flat out what I call it.
That's great. I love it.
I got down there going, holy crap. But I do recommend coaching, at least to get a better understanding of what you need assistance with, because some parts need to be healed. A lot of the aspects of shadow work, again, needs to be disciplined. So you need to become aware of what is being unruly impacting your life, and coaching is perfect for it.
That's fantastic, because I think we've all gone through that again. As you said, this is great, because you sit there and go, you're in a safe space where you can go. You go to a therapist in some ways, and they go, are they really doing anything? I don't think most of them do, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
From when I reckon, you know, I mean, some people help, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they really help. But I'm going to shoot out my senseis, Greg Riley and Michael McNair. From here, I'd love you to talk to them in some stage. They're the ones who put you in a safe place and said, mate, you do the work, but they guide you, as you were just talking about, and say, what do you need to program, where are you at, and being in a safe space where you can express the way you are and without going, that's not right, but this is what you're trying to heal.
A lot of my clients actually were psychologists. I'm a
Not surprised.
I love psychology, and I have a lot of respect for psychologists. A lot of them want to do good, and a lot of them, in an aspect, do help people find a sense of self. I will say that, but let's be realistic. If psychology and psychologists work the way that they currently practice from today back, depression, anxiety, and stress will not be at the all-time high worldwide.
And they keep you coming back. I remember you said that to me one time we were talking. You're like, if you notice, it's not like one session, you know, like there's some coaching sessions, right? We have a certain amount, maybe we do a month's worth or whatever's needed, but they keep you coming back, right? There's no like they're never saying like I never hear them. I've had many therapists. I haven't had one right now, and she's cool, but I never hear them say, oh hey, I think you've worked through your stuff and you're a good spot. No, it just, you know,
just kind of, well, okay, well, maybe we can get into that next week, and then they shuffle you along.
You know, you should see a psychiatrist and you know, some medication as well. Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for psychiatrists. Anybody to go see them, I say please stay.
If you need, exactly. But,
if you need it, please stay. But I will say, coaches normally have an end game.
Yeah.
You can go to a psychologist for 4, 5, 6, 7, a decade even.
Yeah.
There's no end game in sight.
I do massage. I do massage and stuff, my therapy and all that, Matty, and I've got the same theory. This is where I look at other professionals and what you said there, end game. We're actually training the people to be better. I'm helping them. You know what I mean? And I think you walk in, a lot of the stuff that are outside, like the health professionals, we, as us, the four of us, would walk in and say, what can we do to help you and get you in that? Whereas, and instead of going, oh, I'm here, I'm just here, so, you know, like, there's no work being done. You know what I mean? There's no work. There's an end game. I walk in with an end game. Everyone thinks they walk in with an end game. I don't believe it. I know I walk in with an end game. I go, after 2 treatments, we can go here or we can go here. There's an end game there. You know what I mean? So you actually assist them. That's exactly what you're saying, mate. End game is great.
And that's ultimately the difference between coaches and psychologists, or just any form of it. Today's coaches in this day and age is a new way of doing business. Get the product, get it done, enjoy your life.
Yeah.
That's new age business. Old school business is to keep you in the continuous loop, the continuous funnel, to where you need to come back for more and more and more.
Yeah.
No psychologist wants a client to be healed because they're not getting that revenue consistently coming in month to month.
Yeah.
A coach can go 6 months with 0 clients, and they're still happy as can be.
Yeah.
Well, this is where you're at. You're exactly right. There's an end game. Even, and I think it was going back from the late mid-90s when I trained in massage. I got trained by the old school healers who did have end game. As soon as it became commercial, no end game, mate. You're 100% correct. And I love what you said. I wrote that down. We need an end game. Get into your safe space, self-talk.
Yeah.
And also, is there anything, other than 2 things you were saying at the start, internal and external, what's happening internally that is out of balance, if I can put it to you that way, and what's happening externally, which is basically putting yourself out of balance or going, no, this is not working. So those 5 points today have really changed my outlook in a lot of things, and I'm smiling because I've made those choices as well with the people I hang around with these lovely ladies in Cortez and my band members that I got on with last night. It's just, mate, it was just, it's there. So you want more of it. It's like, why can't we have more of this? You know, you can.
Yeah, I always tell people this. If negativity is an addiction, why not enjoy life and have positivity be your addiction?
Yeah.
There's 2 ways to live life, happy or sad. Bottom line, period.
Loving it. See, the vibration for me here, I can feel the vibration. The 4 of us has just gone up, and it's great. We can keep that.
Yeah.
And why can't we get? We've got a choice. As I said, Greg and Michael said, you've got a damn choice, mate. Mm-hmm. You made the choice. We've made the choice to come on here, and we do have some sort of freedom as well. Let's be honest. We make the choice. We have the freedom to make the choice. That's how I write in my diaries every day.
No, I did want to say this because I know a lot of people struggle to maintain happiness, to maintain a healthy stress management, or even struggle off and on with depression. Like nothing's going on and they'll just feel down. It is okay to not be okay. But it is not okay to self-sabotage your well-being so you maintain to not be okay.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, that's a big one. I know a lot of people that do that. I know I've been guilty of that myself. So yeah, that's a great reminder. Thank you.
That was something I learned through experience by making those mistakes.
But you think of
it's a good thing to keep on the front of your mind too. Like, you know,
but look at all the experiences we're going through. Look at the experiences we've all gone, all our journeys. I mean, look what Maddie's done now. That's just gone right. Look, we can do this because look at all that. Look, Diana's saying something. I've been through it. Sarah's been through it. It's Cortez. Batman's been through it.
He's probably like,
we can use it. We're the best life. We're the best. But yeah, I'm a superhero freak. Sorry. We're the best life coaches out there, Maddie. As far as I'm concerned, that's for me. And we can use this great gift of what we've got and what has helped us. Look, I do a lot of writing. Diana, I know, does a lot of writing, and I think Sarah does as well. On how we got to where we are now, and I think that's what we need to give.
I agree. I mean, I work with a lot of coaches worldwide, and one thing I always tell them is give freely, help people freely, but be willing to receive the gifts of that value.
Yeah.
You aim for money, you ain't gonna get it. Yeah. You aim to be a service, you will be served.
Well, if you have value to other people, you receive. It's like if your intention is to add value, you know, and then it becomes a natural byproduct of adding value. You get what you put out. You know, you receive what you put out.
Yeah.
But even the giving and receiving, Maddie, you said it's okay to receive. I mean, you know, if someone pays you something, it's all like, oh, they're paying me. No, they're giving you. You've given. Excuse me. You've given a gift.
It's exchange.
Exchange of energy. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot of people in holistic services worldwide. They always feel bad getting paid. They feel bad for charging. They feel bad for having a price tag. If you're given value and they are appreciating that value, be willing to receive the gifts of that value.
Yeah, you have to be open to receive as well, because you could just be giving, but you're still blocked off from receiving. That you end up pouring from an empty cup because you're not allowing the energies to give back to you. So doing the work and releasing that inability to receive.
You can invest back into your business.
Yeah.
So you can give even more value on a greater scale.
You make total sense, mate. It's the way it is. Let's be honest. You can sit there through 3 or 4 days of coaching and all. But what you said in the last we've been on here for about an hour or so, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
And trust. I think the big thing is for me trusting yourself.
Yes. If you don't believe you are of value, how can you show people the value of them?
Yeah.
Whether that's dating, whether that's being a parent to children, whether that's business. If you don't see your own value, how can you show somebody else the value of all that they are? And ultimately, how can you receive the gifts of that value given? It starts with you.
It's fantastic, mate. Can you tell us a little bit about, do you do excuse me, live chats and stuff like that on, do you go, I mean, obviously before pre-COVID, of course, do you go out and talk at natural therapy expos? Because we've got one here and stuff. They do a lot of talk. It's just, but someone like you would, mate, I tell you, and I even said to the girls and Cortez, it'd be great to really experience what we go through. And some of the stuff you've said today, mate, I'll tell you, you'd attract a major audience down here anyway. I think it'd be awesome. And then you just you're being raw, and it's just great. Yeah. Do you do those sort of things?
Yeah, I used to travel all over the place, usually in the United States, but I used to speak at fairs. I used to actually just publicly speak. I used to run out a church and hold meetings to it and actually have a weekly meeting. I've spoken at schools before, and then COVID hit, and it's like, all right, what can I do? Online. And it's like, you know what? You can reach a greater audience online now because, I mean, just Facebook alone, there's 2.1 billion active users per month.
Yep.
Well, that's how we all.
I like doing what we're doing now on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I do still do some local stuff.
There's nothing wrong with it either. I guess it's a case of we've all done channels. You know, we've all got it, and we're all supportive of our channels. Where, you know, but I'm blown away. Thank you so. Well, on behalf of us, thank you so much for coming on board and just
it was good. Yeah, it was a good chat.
Yeah, just your knowledge and I'm just blown away. I mean, we're all doing this kind of stuff. We've all been through it. We wouldn't be where we are. But I guess just having great people like yourself who really look and see things for exactly what they are. I mean, you can be at a particular point in life, whether it be spiritual or whatever, but you can still have that negative feeling or whatever it may be, or what am I actually doing? But you just summed it up, and we've all heard it. Now it's a case of doing it.
Yes. I mean, look at us. There's 4 people right here. Unity equals community. Let's change this world together.
It's true. One step, one video, one chat at a time.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. That's what we love it.
And the more available I can get, I'm up for doing this more often as well.
More, I really want to do like definitely a manifestation video. I think that'd be cool. I know you're very versed in a lot of things, but
I'd be down to chat with more
or about whatever. I mean, we could in relationships. I want to have a relationship one because I think I think people need to hear a lot of what you have to. I know sometimes
you get me a little excited about that topic.
Triggered certain people in certain groups. So I think it would be a good video. People need to hear the truth. People need the real stuff. You know, not.
People can't handle the truth. What are you talking about?
But that's part of the shadow work. So.
First thing is shadow work is accountability.
Just one more thing before we go. Writing. Okay, a lot of us write. You know, I am grateful. I write now that I will. So basically, I'm of the belief you write it down, it manifests more because you're actually doing it that way. Wayne Dyer did a lot of writing. What's your opinion on that as not a healing tool, but just something as part of your, I guess part of your routine to be who you are each day? What are your thoughts on that? Because a lot of successful coaches will have spoken about, especially Wayne Dyer is a big one.
All right. Well, when it comes to the theta state, that's where you can have all these abilities. Right when you wake up and right when you go to bed, you actually are automatically into it. So that is the best time to set intentions. Now, I am all for writing. I got notebooks everywhere. I got one in my car. I take one everywhere I go. I have a notebook.
There's like
but in the morning when I first get up, I'm actually writing, what can I be a service for today?
That's a great start.
I give to start. And at the end of the day, while I'm in my bed, I reflect back on the day.
Yeah, and instead of looking at your routine, you're kind of like, how can I serve people? Yeah, and then you end up feeling more fulfilled. Anyway, people are searching for the validation. They're searching for all these things, but that's you validate yourself and your sense of self-worth, and you feel fulfilled because you like gave and you connected. Yeah, so it's like a different level, a different kind of.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately for coaches, we want to serve, so we have to be a service. So I start my day. What can I do to make this world a better place? Whether it's my perceptions, my perspective, morality, maybe I speak up, maybe I randomly make a video. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Set the tone and the intention for your day.
Yeah.
Write it out.
I guess in a way, anything you do, is obviously, for me, I do a lot of things, but what it might give me pleasure too, so playing music, but what I always respect, and me and the lead singer have always said this, we're giving happiness to others as well by having these skills. So the better we come, so it's just perspective of changing perspective. Oh, I love playing music, that's great, but getting up on stage, I love doing the stage stuff, but I'm giving them entertainment as well. So we're getting a good vibration to go, right, let's get it up there. So that's how me and the singer look at it, and it really has changed it. So yeah, really, really good. Doesn't matter what you do, you know what I mean? So it's mate, this has been fair. I'm blown away. Thank you very much, and thanks Diana for getting involved. Blown away.
Thank you for having me on, and I will try to make sure I make some more of these as well.
Yeah.
Maybe once every couple. Once every 3 months. We're going to get the big fella from the UK. I mean, he'd have a lot. He's doing a semen retention challenge.
Actually, yeah.
So this would be I reckon he would throw a few really good questions out. It'd be really interesting. So
yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that would. If he's still retaining by then, yeah, he's over 100 days now.
Yep. Yeah, he's killing it.
I don't know any American guys that would do that, honestly, but it's the UK. They're a little different over there.
It's awesome.
There you go. Well, from the Life Theories crew, we'll call it. Thank you, Matthew. Can we get your give us a bit of a plug where they can find you? You got YouTube, Facebook. Over to you.
Well, I mean, right now I'm actually on Instagram. I actually turned my personal one to a business one about a month ago. And it is just Matt. The Mindset Coach.
Fantastic. So we'll have that at the end of the video.
Yeah, I'll get the information.
We'll put it in the description, and I'll put it on video. So you'll probably find that you'll get tagged in Small Sarah Big Soul, White Warrior Health, Journey of a White Feather, and Trailblazer Universe, and we'll probably throw it on Spiritual Needs TV. So we get all that though. But Matthew, thank you so much for coming on board of Life Theories. I think this is episode 10. If I'm correct, at 10 or 11, I can't remember.
11, actually. I'm a little behind on my editing. I'm still working on... Yeah,
bang! Yeah. 11. There it is. Thank you so much for coming on board. And thank you, everybody, for listening in. Sarah, I'll leave it to you to absolutely close it as you do.
Well, I don't know. I feel like you've touched on quite a lot there. I was going to ask Matt if there was anything else that you can tell our viewers about... shadow work, or any last words of encouragement or tips for our viewers that might be interested in getting started in looking at their shadow.
All right. Shadow work. Let's simplify it. All that matters is what you do today. We got different time zones right here, okay? Right now it's 8:22 p.m. where I'm at. But from this point on to when I go to bed, what can I do to improve myself? Simplify your shadow work day to day. Don't worry about the bigger picture weeks and months down the road. Today is all that matters, because today ultimately is the real world and is life. And for motivation and inspiration, I'm not very a motivational guy. I'm kind of like hit you in the mouth and hope that you get up. So I'm just going to say this. You get one life. Fucking own it.
YOLO.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was cheesy.
YOLO. That's good advice. I think that's a great
disclaimer at the start of the video.
What's that?
Disclaimer at the start of the video.
Yeah.
Go for your life.
Well, thank you so much for that, Matt. I think that was a great way to close the show today. Really appreciate you coming out and chatting with us, and hopefully we can do this again. It'd be awesome.
It was my pleasure, and great to meet everybody.
Yep.
Yeah. Great. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you to everybody for joining in and watching this episode. If you like what you saw today, give us all a follow at Small Sarah Big Soul, Journey of a White Feather, and Trailblazers of the Universe. Give us a subscribe, a like, and hit that little bell button so that when we post more videos, you are in the know and can watch them. So thank you for being here. Much love to everybody, and we will be back next week.